Hello, people of Earth and elsewhere. Welcome back to the show where the content is spam, and I am Crackers. 2015 was exciting for a lot of anime fans, as everybody was always jumping on some hype train or another, finding new anime that were good, and generally people will say that there was at least one or two anime that were good that came out of this year. And I can attest to that, but I wasn't able to follow the seasons as manga was coming out the way that most anime fans say that they can. I did manage to watch a handful of anime, though, so I figured I was going to make a list and tell you guys this is what I managed to watch this year, and this is, in short, what I think about them. First off, I'd like to say I had some resolutions from last year, and I managed to not keep any of them. I completely flaked out. I didn't have the movie month I wanted to have to watch anime movies, and I never got back around to watching Mirai Nikki, or The Future Diaries, as some would have you call it. And above all, I didn't watch Bleach all the way through, and I don't think I ever will. But to offset that last one, I did manage to read all the manga and add it to the list of series that I am currently following, so yeah, I guess that's kind of okay. This list does not include second seasons of anime that I managed to watch, or any of the anime that I started but did not finish. So the number that I give you at the end is all the stuff that I started, isn't a second season, and managed to finish in the 2015 year with a single exception, but we'll get to that when we get there. And enjoy it while you can. Worst case scenario, you just watch the speed paint and turn off the audio. Go ahead and play some anime music in the background. It's actually pretty fun to watch at this speed. I started off the year with The Devil is a Part-Timer. Good, I can recommend it to people. Funny, not the best, but still higher than a lot of the other ones I watched this year. Gargantia on the Verdurous Planet. Better than a majority of mech anime that I have seen, and I wanted to make 2015 a year to watch mech anime, so there's a couple more at least on here. I liked it. Chamber was awesome. Go watch the show so that you can know who Chamber is. Gugure Kokurri-san, something that I came across completely by accident. If they have a second season, I'll watch it. It was funny, it was cute. They kind of made a lot of dirty jokes, but that's how anime is. Again, something that I can recommend to people. It was interesting, and I don't regret watching that at all. Then there was Utawarerumono. This year, after I had watched it, I wound up finding out that they made a remake or a second season of this thing, and I'm not going to watch it because the first version was boring. It's based off of a visual novel or something along those lines. I don't care. Maybe the visual novel is better. Speaking of visual novels, there's one of those for this thing called Tears to Tiara. And it's boring until the last 5 episodes, because that's when the dragons show up, and dragons make everything better, am I right? Pick up a video game of this or something. I swear the anime is not worth your time. Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. Because people actually say Magi, you know? And the Kingdom of Magic. At the beginning of the year, I managed to watch the first season, and I enjoyed it, but obviously it didn't interest me that much because I didn't get around to watching the second season, which was already out, until December of this year. So good, but not the best. At least I can recognize the cosplayers, am I right? After Hellsing, I promised myself I wasn't going to watch any more vampire anime, but I found something that had 13 episodes, and they were only about 15 minutes long each, so how bad could it be? Horrible. No more vampire anime. I watched Diabolic Lovers, and that was not a good reason to break my resolve. Don't watch it. It was terrible on pretty much all accounts. It's getting a second season. I don't care. No more vampire anime, I mean it. By some prodigy of goodness, I did manage to find Death Parade, the first anime that actually came out in 2015, and it was the best thing I've watched since Baccano in 2014. It was exciting, it was psychological, it had the most amazing theme song of the season, that is to say the winter season of 2015, and I will own this anime when it comes out. It's, by all accounts, great, and one of the best things I've ever known. Like, really. At least watch the theme song. Deceptive it is. Something else that came out this year was called Blockade Battlefront. Kekkai Sensen is the Japanese title, and it is definitely worth giving it a shot if you're a fan of Trigun and Baccano, because it's kind of like both put together, at least in the fact that it's illustrated by the same artist who made Trigun, and it's got a jazzy background soundtrack like Baccano. It's pretty cool. And I'm glad I was able to watch it this year. I have no regrets, not when it comes to this one. I have some really stupid reasons for watching anime sometimes, and I'm just gonna say that when I finally found out the name of Nura, Rise of the Yokai Clan, I thought, oh, this is the anime about something or other. So I said, okay, I'll watch it. It's 52 episodes of, yokai. Japanese demons and stuff like that. It's not that it's not interesting, but I feel like this is for a younger audience. Maybe 12 or 13-year-old me would have liked this more than the current me, because I don't know, it's right up there with something like Bleach and Naruto, where it's just a shonen series where you can get away with having some fillers and flashback episodes every 12 episodes or so. It wasn't bad, but read the manga, because if you want to get into this series, it's way more complete than the anime is. Aha! After this, at least I managed to follow it up with a classic. And by a classic, I mean the best mech anime ever. Of course, I'm talking about Gurren Lagann, and once again, I had a very stupid reason for watching this, but we can talk about it later. Just sit down, enjoy the ride. There is no better mech anime than this being what it is. At least in my opinion. I haven't seen a lot of mech anime, and considering I followed it up with Linebarrels of Iron, I cannot emphasize enough how much mech anime does not impress me. There are two rules that come out of 2015 for me, and one of them is most mech anime sucks. It had better be pretty freaking special if I'm gonna watch it, because Linebarrels of Iron was like Code Geass mixed with Majestic Prince with the plot of Evangelion, kind of. And since I don't particularly like any of those animes, this was very not good for me. I mean, at least, even though I had the art style of Majestic Prince, at least the characters had noses this time. That's all I can say for it, though. Gungrave came next? Maybe. Some of this stuff is kind of out of order. And let me say, I was not impressed with Gungrave. If anybody wants me to go into depth about that, I will, but it wasn't my cup of tea. There's like a video game or something. Video game, manga, whatever it was, the anime didn't impress me. Next came The Life Changer, and I am not even kidding when I say that I finally got around to watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and 2015 may perpetually be remembered as, if nothing else, the year that I watched it. But of course, I had to troll my friend who kept on trying to get me forever to watch it by saying, oh yeah, I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the 13 episodes that came out back in the 90s and the early 2000s, ha 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 ha. I never told him how much that I actually was enjoying it at that point, and by the time I finally watched Phantom Blood and Battle Tendency, I was completely sucked in. I'm not going to go in depth about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because that is a story for another time, and pretty much you guys watching all my other YouTube videos. Yeah. After that, it left me in a real rut, and I kid you not, when I say rut, I mean I could not find any anime that could really compete with the kind of hype I was on because of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I managed to find Watamotte on YouTube, and I watched that pretty much in one sitting, and as one of the many introverted otakus of the internet, I will say, oh my gosh, please tell me I wasn't that bad in high school. That's the kind of thing I was looking at. Like, a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, this is so relatable. And I'll be like, or I was watching this and going, I wasn't that bad, right? I'm sorry to anybody with social anxiety or anybody who is introverted on the internet who is offended by that notion, but wow. I'm not going to make any more comments. Just wow. Eek. I was in more of a rut after that, and InuXBoku SS Secret Service caught my attention, but that was highly unamusing, and it was a waste of my time. I regret watching it in the sense that it was just a waste of my time. There's a manga, I don't care where it left off, just leave. Just leave, no more. Princess Jellyfish was next, and I think this is what I needed to kind of bring me up out of my anime rut, because it was this kind of girly shoujo thing that left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. I hope for a second season because it was good. I like Princess Jellyfish a lot. and I'm not going to explain too much about it. Maybe I'll just have a review of it later. It was endearing to me. Much more endearing to the introverts of the world than Watamotte is, in my own personal humble opinion. Up until this time, I had never watched the infamous, or famous, depending on what part of the internet you're from, Death Note. So what do I decide to do? Let's go watch Death Note. At least they brought it up in the anime club, and, well, I figured I'm not just going to watch the first 4 episodes. Now, here's what I have to say. Is it good? Yes! Is it overrated? Yes! Was the ending great? Absolutely! Did it take too long to get there? It took way too long to get there. Was L the best character? Yes. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Death Note was better than I thought it was going to be. After that, I decided to finish up the show called Katangatari. And I would recommend this to you. Just look up an AMV or look it up on Wikipedia. Just look up a few pictures. It's got a very interesting art style and an intriguing story, though it's very dialogue heavy and slow at certain points. I think that this is something that more anime fans should watch because not a lot of people know about it. It's well animated when things are actually moving. Trust me, it's pretty cool. Because of that, I thought, you know what? I like samurai-related series. Or at least so I thought until I watched Samurai Champloo. They could have done the entire series in, like, half the time. That's what I had to say about Samurai Champloo. Half the time it was, like, this really engrossing, well-animated, upbeat, not really upbeat, but, it was a cool story. I say beats because of the hip-hop themes. And the other time I felt like I was watching South Park or some other adult cartoon animated in America. I mean, really, we set a weed field on fire, people. No. I'm done. If I feel like I'm watching South Park, then this isn't what I'm looking for in an anime. I'm sorry, but a lot of this was unnecessary. The Heroic Legend of Arslan came out this year, and guess what? There was an OVA that was animated in the 90s. Guess who had to go back and watch it? Well, me, or at least I find myself obligated to do so. No matter which one you like, I suggest giving the series a try. Anime, manga, light novels, one way or another the series is still going, so you'll never really get a completed story. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't give it a shot for what it's worth. Did you know that there's an anime adaptation of the show Supernatural? Well, I found out about this year, and I decided to watch it. Given the fact that I never actually watched Supernatural before, now I'm going to go in and actually watch the live-action show because the anime caught my attention. And I guess I actually have to watch the live-action in order to have an official opinion on which one I like better, at least when it comes to the first 2 seasons. On Netflix, I found the 7 Deadly Sins anime and binge-watched it within 24 hours. It was good. I enjoyed it. Still has a lot of the shonen stereotypes and stuff like that, but let's not talk about that. Let's just leave it at, wow, I enjoyed it. It's bringing me out of my rut. I'll read the manga. I definitely have to catch up on this one. Sexy Commando Gaiden is something that you can find on YouTube, and it's an ancient, poorly animated, gag manga-based anime. So, if you think you can deal with that, then go look it up. It was way ahead of its time with the whole mustache theme it's got going on, and that's all I have to say about it. I can say that it's weird. And I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure this past year. It's weird. It was some piece of work, but that would have been a really rather negative, inappropriate, I should say, note to end my anime year on. But I didn't know what else I was going to do. There were a bunch of things I tried but couldn't really get into until my friend recommended that I watch One Punch Man. So I watched that. I watched the first 10 episodes on New Year's Eve, and after watching on the 1st of 2016 the last 2 episodes, I decided I'm going to put this on my list for 2015 because that's when it came out and I watched a majority of it then. It deserves to be on this list, and it deserves its special bookmark spot as the way I ended the year because it's the kind of anime that you'd say, that at least I can say I was proud I was able to watch in 2015, and that is the high note that I managed to end my year on. There's a total of 24 of those altogether, and that's not including the following: the second season of Nurarahyon, which was split up over a couple of different seasons, I guess, and Kami-sama Kiss had its second season, which was adorable. I love that show so much. And the third season of Ruby, which has been coming out and is still ongoing, and I am following it. I know, Ruby's not an anime, but I don't care what you people have to say about it. Honorable mentions include Black Blood Brothers, another vampire anime, which I only got 2 episodes through before I remembered, oh yeah, I don't want to watch vampire anime anymore, and it wasn't catching my interest. Then there's also Red Garden. This one is really interesting, but I kind of lost track of it and forgot about it until just now, so I'll have to go back and finish that in 2016 for next year's list. And this thing called Toriko. I'm not sure what to say about this, except that I'm probably going to go back and finish it, hopefully not as the first thing I do this year. That being said, if you guys have any suggestions for any anime I should watch in the future, then please leave a comment below. I want to beat my record from 2014 of watching 30 individual anime and completing them. And just because we have another season of Durarara, finishing the Durarara series in January, I can't exactly put that on the list. I can put the next season of JoJo on the list, though, because it's like its own standalone series. Yay! Now, for anybody who stuck around for this long, I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least the speed paint. Genos, though. And if you want to see the full picture, just click on the link to my DeviantArt in the description below. Comment if you want, and if you like this video, please click the button that says you did so. I didn't talk much about Death Parade, but it'll be featured on my video next week, hopefully. The week after that at the latest, I swear, and then I'll be back into doing JoJo stuff. I'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching once again.